Okay, in a computing, virtualization or virtualization, so anything, here is a ZA is there, SA is there, what are both are same, is the act of creating a virtual version of something. Virtual version of something, like virtual machine, physical machine, virtual virtual machine means virtualization of something. Physical machine is there, and that one. Okay, like that, including virtual computer means virtual machine, hardware platform, storage devices, physical hard disk, virtual hard disk is there, right? Disk is there, and virtual hard disk is there. Okay, physical machine, virtual hard disk, physical hard disk. So understand virtualization of something. So just try to understand. So the storage device and the network resources. Okay, next, virtual network, VMnet1. VMnet1 is a physical is not a physical NIC, right? But we can able to put a IP address, we can make a connection from it, we can bridging to virtual communication, right? So that is, we can say it's a network related virtualization of something means virtual adapters, virtual applications, virtual applications, application virtualization, virtual applications is there. So virtualization of something, this is one kind of telling, like we can tell like that. So virtualization is a process of creating a software based or virtual representation of something, such as a virtual applications, virtual servers, virtual storages, virtual network. It is the single most effective way to reduce the IT expenses while boosting efficiency and agility for all size businesses. Okay, so this is another meaning we can tell. But last time when I means actually I went for a coaching for VMware, vSphere kind of stuff. He given one statement, but I didn't bring that statement with me to Pune. Okay, just try to understand. Lot of people said like, what is a virtualization? What is a virtualization? Virtual means not real. What is real and what is virtual then? Say what is virtual, and people say immediately which one is not real. What is a virtual means which is not real. If it is not real means it is not existing. If it is not existing, then how come you are accessing, right? This is called virtual machine, right? You are accessing the virtual machine. You are install a server, you install services, we install clients, we add a client and domain as your physical machines only. We install applications, we are running the applications, we are managing the disk, managing the services, managing the passwords, securities. We implemented RAID, LVM, like that. So many things we are doing, right? So problem is not a problem. Thing is, we are able to do what we are doing with the physical machine. Same thing we are doing, or a maximum things we are doing with the virtual machine only. We are accessing internet, right? So we can able to access internet also, right? So like that. So whatever we do in a physical machine, same thing we are doing in a virtual machine also. So if you can able to do it, if you can able to touch it, so then it is real only. So when you say what is a virtual machine or a virtual, it means you should not say it is not real. Okay, we can't say it is not real, because we can able to see, we can able to work. We are not imagining. Imagination means that is not real. Imagination is different. Dreaming is different. It is not real. Okay, we can say it is not real. Physically, it is not real. Okay, so what is a virtual means? It's a virtual machine in this concept. Virtual means, so when we say what, so I have something, what is a virtual means, we are saying it is physically not existing. Physically existing only, it is existing in physical nature. If it is not existing in physical nature, then how can you access, right? How can we access if it is not existing in physical? If it is real, how can you able to see that one? So that is like some statement want to give, so we are giving like that. Okay, what is a virtual means? It's a virtualizing something. We are virtualize the version of something. So this is my physical machine. So I create a virtual version of a machine, that is called a virtualization. We can say like that. Next, running an application. So here is an application. It is an application, actual application. I can able to virtualize this application, and I virtualized application can be accessed by multiple peoples also. Like virtualizing of, for understanding virtualization, we well known about virtual machines only. Well known about virtual machine because we created already Linux machine, Windows machine, Windows Server machine also. We already worked. So then we know more about virtual machines than any other virtualization technologies generally. So understand, this is my virtual machine. Virtual machine is existing under a physical machine. Without a physical machine, or without a physical resources, without a physical machine, okay, without a physical machine or a physical resources like a CPU, RAM and hard disk, okay, without a physical resources, virtual machine not existing. Understand? Virtual machine is not a physical machine, but without a physical resources or physical machines, virtual machines are not existing. So it means if you are doing a virtualized version, it means it need a to run the virtualized version of something, we need a physical resources. Point number two, if you want to run any virtual version of something, if you are want to run anything or virtual version of something, okay, you need a physical resources. Compulsory physical resources are required. Okay, I think got the point. Next, again, this is my physical machine, and in my physical machine I have a virtual machine is there. So we'll talk about virtual machine. So understanding based on that, how to understand virtualization, will come back again. So my physical machine having a physical resources like a CPU, RAM, mm, if required networking, and a disk, okay, hard disk at storages to store the virtual machines, right? So this is a resources. Based on the resources, machine is running, right? If I shut down my physical machine, we can't run the virtual machine, right? If I shut down physical machine, I can't run the virtual machine. So this virtual machine is running based on my physical resources only, of course. But what is the point of this one? But it is maintained intact. Intact. What is a intact? Intact means not contact. Intact means it runs on the physical resources but not binded to physical resources. Not binded to physical resources. It means I can take this virtual machine, I can run this virtual machine in another physical machine. Just I can copy or move this virtual machine, and I can run this virtual machine in another machine. I can run here also. I can copy or move this virtual machine from one physical machine to another physical machine. Again, it will run on this wherever you keep the virtual machine. So it utilize that machine's physical resources. So this will consume my physical resources, right? So what is this? It is the word we call it as a intact. So again, we are going to the virtualization by functionality. We can define this one as a bifunctionality. Bifunctional or a functionality. Bifunctionality, it works like a same as a physical one only. like a virtual machines. What we are doing in a virtual machine, same thing we can able to do in physical machine, and as well as what we do in a physical machine we are doing in a virtual machine also. Okay, by functionality, virtual machine, physical machine, both are same by functionality. But physical machine has a physical resources, direct physical resources are there, but virtual machine is don't have any physical resources directly. It is works based on a physical resources in intact with your physical, right? So by functionality, like physical machine, you can install an application. In virtual machine also you can install a application, like. So by functionality both are same. Virtual, the physical part and virtual of something, both are by functionality same. Okay, but it intact with its source 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 dependencies are there, no? Like hardware dependencies or anything, it's intact with that one, so it is not having contact, no binding here. So that is what we can able to explain about a virtualization. So but in a single statement you want to explain, so you can tell example with example you can able to explain also. So what is a virtualization thing? It's a by functionality. So it works as a same as a physical existence, a physical machine or a physical network or a physical thing. By functionality, it works as the same, and it's intact with the it is intact with its physical resources. Actually, I type there it is source. It's in it's what we can say. It's intact with its physical resources. Okay, so it's intact with the physical resources. That is virtual. Virtual machine is different and virtualization is different. Virtual machine means it's a machine, in virtually is a machine it is. Virtualization means it comes with the all kind of virtualization things only. Okay, next, there is a different type of virtualizations are there. So here I am noting these virtualizations here: server virtualization, desktop virtualization, application virtualization, network virtualization, and storage virtualizations. Okay, here I will try to explain these things. Okay, few of things at least. Here, if you go to this PPT, there is a few more extra virtualization thing as there. User state virtualization, presentation virtualization also. You can see what is the server virtualization. Create and run a multiple computer operating system on a single physical server. Host server share resources with all virtual machines. Hosted on Hyper-V means here it's a Microsoft PPTs, not virtualization PPT. It is a Microsoft PPTs. That's a Hyper-V. Hyper-V is there. Allow you to detach the computer hosting services or role from the hardware in which run on. So almost all server workloads can now run on virtual machines. Okay, use a server virtualization to reduce the number of physical deployed server and to optimize resource utilization. This is a desktop virtualization. But what is this server virtualization? Once again, we'll see in a like this. This is my physical server. Okay, so why I said physical server? It's a physical server only. Physical machine or a physical server. So why I told server means it's a server hardware means high capacity hardware is there. So normally if you have a server, and what is the use of that server? Like we install a server OS, right? We install a server OS. I'm going. So server physical server having its hardware part anyway. So I install a server OS, and then I install a services on top of it. I install a services. Okay, or applications wise, service wise, or a application wise I install. What is I use? Okay, total utilization of like one or two services we are running. from the physical server. So maximum utilization of your server is 10 to 20 percentage only. Okay, maximum utilization of server regular servers are 10 to 20% only. But based on your hardware, based on cost of hardware, you are utilizing very less. Means it is also good, but when you invest something on it, something you invest the money on something, so you have to get best result of it, best utilization. Like you buy a bike. Okay, now in a corona time you buy a very good nice 90,000 or 1 lakh rupees bike, or 2 lakh 3 lakh rupees bikes also coming, right? So there 2 lakh 3 lakhs bike you purchase it, and you are not able to go outside. Then what is the utilization of it? Or maybe you are going to the next street for a purchasing something, like for chai you are going to next street by bike, that's it. Not more than that utilization. So what is the your best utilization of it? Are you going to office, are you going to college with a bike? So best utilization will give you a return on investment. So you are buying a server, means you are investing something. It's an electronic component. If you are utilized, not utilized, it will be damaged anyway. Okay, so you should not utilize 100%. Never utilize 100%. Okay, never utilize 100%. So you can utilize, so maximum utilization you can go up to 75%. 70 to 80% as per the record. Up to 80% is okay, not more than 80%. 80 85 is a warning period only. Okay, 85 means it's a warning level. So better to keep your utilization more than 20% to 75%. You can keep in that one, so you should not cross it, and you should not lose. So for this purpose, if you increase number of services and applications, and the server cannot able to handle also. So as per the guideline, you should not use more services running in a server, like a network services, like application service, or normal DHCP, DNS, just for example. You should not have a two to three, four services running, five services, 10 service running in single server, irrespective of capacity of your server. It is not good for server. Then how to utilize it? How to best utilizing of this server resources is one of the solution is virtualization. One of the solution is virtualization. What is this virtualization? Before going to virtualization, I will tell you another fault. Same thing is happened. I have another server, because of I cannot run more services in the single server. So what I have to do, I have to take another server. So again, this is also a server, physical server only, and we have a server OS, and next we are running services, some other services I'm running. For example, this is a DNS server, this is a web server, and I have a very big web platform is there. So I have to build a lot of web servers, storage servers, print servers. Like I have to build a lot of servers based on our requirement. So then what I done, I'm taking lot of servers, but I'm running only web services. For example, each server is web server. I'm running only one service. What happened? One or two services. You are not best utilizing it. Okay, so how to utilize this one? Okay, another one. The cost when you keep on increasing servers. If you keep on increasing servers one by one, if you keep on increasing servers one by one, so what will happen? Cost will increases. Cost will increases. So that cost is overburden. Maybe sometimes it's overburden on your organization also. So this is they will create a one solution that is called a virtualization. How this virtualization thing works, we'll see that. This is a physical server. Inside this physical server, what I am going to do, so I'm going to create a virtual machines. In this virtual machine, I will install a OS. I can install an operating system. Then required service. For example, web server. This is a virtual machine one. Okay. Next, I will create another virtual machine. Depends upon my hardware. I can run or I create separate virtual machines. Right. So I created this virtual machine. What are the operating system I can able to install it? What operating system? Windows operating system, Linux operating system, or Windows Server operating system, Unix operating system, Mac operating system. Which OS I want to install, I will install in this virtual machine. I can run what services I want to run, I can run it. So what happened here? This is my physical machine. I can run multiple virtual machines depends upon my physical machine capacity. I can run multiple virtual machines. So you need to buy you need to buy more physical machines to maintain the more different type of services. Okay, so for every time you need to buy a new server and maintain a services inside for accessing. So and space occupation will be reduced. It is a one single server, right? So I'm running four virtual machine in a single server. It means four server space is reduced, space is reduced, power is reduced, cost is reduced. Like you need to buy four, you buy one, you can put a four in one. So what happened? So for instead of four, you are getting the same value from one single server only. Okay. So these are the main advantage of uh, virtualization or a server virtualization. Again, I'm repeating server virtualization. It's a take a single server, physical server, and create a multiple virtual machines in a single server, so user can able to access the server and they will manage it. Okay, simple. Next, to create this server virtualization, so to put the virtualization kind of concept, it is every machine has a hardware configuration like a CPU, okay, RAM, hard disk, CD, DVD, or iSCSI, centralized storages. If you want to put a centralized storages, you can put it. So this is my hardware. Okay, so main important is CPU is a very first in a virtualization. CPU is important. RAM is to run. Okay, so second part, to store the virtual machine, we need a hard disk. To store the virtual machine, we need a hard disk. So RAM for a processing and supporting purpose. CPU is a main virtualization part. Okay. Next, what people will do? So they will install a they install a hypervisor. Okay. They install a platform called a hypervisor platform. They install a hypervisor platform. What is hypervisor? It's, it's nothing but virtualization platform. Platform, whatever it is. Platform only. Okay. So these are different platforms are given here. Five most popular virtualization platform, very bold document: VMware, Citrix, Microsoft, Oracle, Amazon is not that one. That's a different point. Okay, so these are the major companies in the virtualization industry. So one is VMware, Citrix, Microsoft, and of course Oracle is also providing something. Okay, so these hypervisor provide a virtualization platform on it. So it will virtualize your hardware. What it will do? It virtualize your hardware. I think you are people are getting bored. Okay, it virtualize your hardware and it create virtual environment and support for a virtual machines. Okay, for example, virtual machine required also provide CPU, right? Virtual machine required CPU. What CPU? Virtual CPU. Where you will get a virtual CPU? From your CPU only. This virtual machine also required RAM. Direct RAM it won't utilize, but it will use a space in the RAM. It will utilize a small space part in a RAM, right? So like that is. So it is depends on physical RAM, but it inside of physical RAM it is occupy the space, right? And this virtual machine also that virtual machine and virtual machine disk in a virtual hard disk stores in physical hard disk only. So it is utilizing the physical resources, and to run this virtual machine what we required hypervisor platform. What is a required hypervisor platform or a virtualization platform? Both are same. Hypervisor platform or a virtualization platform. Okay, to run, to create and run the virtual machines we need a hypervisor platform. So this is it. This is a server virtualization. I written lot of things here. Remember guys, day 25/13/03 last month. Their notes is actually good. Given times of time also, I took a time for storage and virtualization. Okay, because that is the main concept of cloud or whatever the concept it is. Okay, so what is this? It's a server virtualization, hypervisor. What is a hypervisor? What is a hypervisor platform? Is a virtualization platform only. Without a hypervisor, okay, hypervisor platform and virtualization platform. Okay, next, different platforms are there from the different organizations. From Microsoft is a Hyper-V. From VMware it is a vSphere. From VMware the hypervisor platform is vSphere. Okay, this is a vSphere. Currently vSphere 7 is running, so you can download and use it also, no problem. So vSphere. Okay, so from VMware. Okay, so from VMware. Next one is Xen server from Citrix. Linux KVM QEMU. Proximox is a open source. Proximox some V2 something is there. It is a open source. All are you have to pay are trial versions, but Proximox is a community type. Okay, Linux based virtualization, pure Hyper-V format. So pure Hyper-V is there. Okay, VE virtualization. You can see Proximox VE. Um, environment designer. It's a pure form of virtualization. You can see download also. When you type proximox.com, download, and you can utilize. But guys, we need a 64-bit again. Virtualization means how you install a Windows 10 and server. So same wise also you can able to install. So this is a Proximox. It's a open source virtualization platform. So if you want to download, you can download from this download button. Okay, it's a community, anybody can able to use it. And this server virtualization also called as type 1 virtualization or a bare metal virtualization. So this is called a type 1 virtualization. server virtualization also called as type 1 virtualization and bare metal virtualization. I am using VMware workstation, right? I am using VMware workstation. This VMware workstation not a type 1 virtualization. This VMware workstation not a type 1 virtualization. This is type 2 virtualization. This is type 2 virtualization. If you install like this, so the main type 1 virtualization means on hardware directly hypervisor platform is installed. On hardware directly hypervisor platform is installed. That is called a, so what we call that one, type 1 virtualization. This is called a type 1 virtualization. So no operating system here, no separate operating system is there. So that is a type 1 virtualization. What are the type 1 virtualizations are there? Hyper-V from the Microsoft, Hyper-V, VMware vSphere or ESXi, Xen servers, KVM and QEMU open source, Proximox open source or Proximus EV, VE virtualization environment. It is nothing but open source. It's no need to pay anything. It is also open source type only. This is mainly major part of virtualization. Okay, lot of virtualization related benefits are there here. Okay, like vSphere, like this one. Okay, this is a thing. Okay, we don't have any separate operating system application running. We can't do anything. We can't do direct application running on a system not working. You want to paint a brush or a notepad, these are all won't work here. Applications won't work, anything is not working here. It is a pure form of hypervisor. So it will give a platform to create a virtual machines. Okay, to create a virtual machine we need a desktop, we need a normal desktop thing. Okay, it's a normal desktop like for example C1. So through network they will connect to this machine. Through network they'll connect them through machine and using a desktop application or a web application. Desktop application or a web application, so you can access this server. Okay, and we can create a virtual machines here. So you are creating a virtual machine here, and actually this virtual machine running from here. Here, so here it is running here. You are creating virtual machine here, it is running here. VM2, VM2 for example. VM3, VM3. You are creating here, accessing here, but it is actually running in a my physical server only. This totally we call it as a server virtualization. Server virtualization means type 1 virtualization, bare metal virtualization, and we don't run any applications or anything here. We take a server and install a hypervisor, automatic hypervisor connected to the client and create a virtual machines as per user requirement and server capacity. Okay, manage the virtual machines, accessing the virtual machines, managing the virtual machines, creating the virtual machines, everything from the remote through network only. Anything you do through network only, we do it, either web browser or a desktop applications. Just for example, if you go to my desktop, you can see this VMware vSphere. Can you see VMware vSphere client? It's a older version for a VMware vSphere. You can connect with a desktop. So now you can use a browser for a VMware vSphere, but at that time use differently. Okay. So where is this? This is a thing. Like if you want to understand or do practical part, I will tell things like hypervisor. You can download pure hypervisor 2019 or 2016. You can able to download it. Okay, or if you want to practice hypervisor, if you want server virtualization, pure server virtualization means you can download direct hypervisor 2019 is the latest version directly. Hyper-V server 2019 is there. evolution version, we downloaded a server, right? Same thing we can able to download and you can use it. Next, Hyper-V with a OS along with operating system. Hyper-V feature is also coming. So you must have enterprise and professional editions, Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10. Some people said Windows 7 also having a Hyper-V thing, but exactly as I remember, I never seen that option in Windows 7. Okay. Next, compulsory 64-bit for a platform. Hyper-V platform, Hyper-V manager are there. In the servers with OS, you can see two options are there. So one is Hyper-V platform plus Hyper-V manager. What is this Hyper-V manager? Hyper-V manager to manage the virtual machines for creating, managing virtual machines. So Hyper-V manager. But you want to create a virtual machine inside your physical machine. Inside your physical machine, you need a Hyper-V platform. Okay. So to get Hyper-V platform installed in your PC, important thing is you must have 64-bit and virtualization enabled. Without virtualization enabled, 64-bit and a virtualization enabled. So without that one, you can't get a Hyper-V platform. But you can get a manager. What is the use of Hyper-V manager? You have to connect remote servers to create or manage the virtualization thing. Okay, so you can see here, not this one. Where is this picture I put it? So this is a Hyper-V manager in the C1. For example, this is the manager window is there. Okay, so I can connect to the server. I can create a virtual machines from here and managing virtual machines all the times I can able to do it. So that is a Hyper-V manager, and these two things will be available directly in a client operating desktop operating system like 8, 8.1, 10 professional enterprises. Windows Server 64-bit, 2008 64-bit. 2008 two versions are there. 32-bit 64, 2008 64, and the rest of the next level operating system. Okay, 8 R2, 12, 12 R2, 16, 19. Okay, and I think already I told this information in Windows Server. So it means if you take these servers, usually main two versions are there. One is a standard edition, another one is a data center edition. In standard edition servers, you can create up to two virtual machines per core. Okay, you can create multiple virtual machines, but at a time it runs only two virtual machines only. Okay. Next, data center editions can create a multiple unlimited virtual machines we can able to create, but at a time 1024 virtual machines only we can able to use it per core. Per core. Next, it is become more dirty, so we'll try. Okay, this is okay. Already I told you can create a virtual machines from a client, right? So normally we are creating a virtual machines by connecting their application or web interface. So what are the interface you are using? Using this interface we are connecting to the server and we create a virtual machines here. Okay, from here you are creating virtual machine and virtual machine is creating in this location. Okay, of course, if your machine is inside a server, if your machine is inside a server, not only one machine, we have a 4 5 virtual machines in a single server, then how user can able to access that server? How user can able to access that server? Anyone? I have a server, I have a machine in a some remote location. How can I access that machine from here?
Network virtualization, sir.
Network.
Virtualization through network.
No, don't forget about virtualization. I'm not asking in question in virtualization. I have a machine, whatever it is, physical or virtual machine, and in my network or remotely, I want to access that machine. I want to access that machine through network. Okay, as you said, network virtualization. So we cut the network through network. Okay, so off point. Okay, so through network we can able to access, right? How can we access remote PC through network? We know answer that one.
IP
Huh?
IP address.
IP address, very good. Protocol, good. IP address, through IP address we are accessing, because through our network we are accessing means IP address. Which protocols we use? Remote access
Remote
protocol.
desktop. Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
Remote desktop.
Very good. RDP, remote desktop protocol, very good. Next, another protocols. Tell me fast. Another remote access protocol, we well known that one. First protocol we learned that one only. First when we started Linux.
SSH.
Uh,
SSH.
now, when I said Linux, then you recollected. Very good, very good. At least that point is very good. Okay. One more is Telnet. Okay. So other type of things are there, but VNC kind of stuff is there. VNC, spicy, like that space something is there. Okay, some other remote access kind of stuff is there, but important is RDP, SSH, telnet. Depends upon your server, type of server, and way of accessing. You can use which protocol you want it. Anybody can tell what is the port number for RDP? Port number.
3389
Very good. 3389.
89
SSH.
22
Very good. Telnet.
23
23. Very good. Yeah, you people remember. Very good. Okay, so RDP 3389, SSH 22, Telnet 23. When we I or any, if you go to any network learning institute kind of stuff, you know every day we have to practice this thing. Just like mm, some things always practice compulsory. It is like coaching type, no, basic formula types we practice few basic formulas daily, because we should not forget, otherwise you can't get in that mathematical situations, right? So same thing is networking related, mainly networking related, basic related things to Linux and Windows. You have to keep on touch with it. So keep on put a situation, based on situation you have to keep on repeating these things. Very good, guys. Otherwise we will forget. Otherwise sometimes you'll get problems also. Sometimes that is a become very important for interview. Okay. Okay, so if you want to access this virtual machine from here or from any other machine, means here no need to go to that server, right? So you can access from anywhere. You want to access this machine from here. So what we required, you don't require client application or anything. Just we need a either RDP, SSH, Telnet, or PowerShell. One more is there, PS, PowerShell. Through PowerShell also we can access. Depends upon OS services connectivity. How we can we use PowerShell, right? Yeah, PowerShell remote is also there. How to use a PowerShell connection? Like you can go to this one. You have to tell this one. Enter PS session computer name. It's a command. This is the command. And already I told you have to go to one PPT, or I will share one PPT if possible. Go through once. Okay. Server. Here we have some not basic, but admin related few are there. Means Active Directory related things are there. Okay, so there may be some helpful how to connect it. Okay, you can check it which one is more stronger, like a SSH or PowerShell. Okay, so you can use this thing. Trusted host and all command is there. Actually, three commands are there to make a connection. Okay, so PowerShell. Okay, depends upon your server, Linux, Windows, or which kind of Unix, which kind of server you are running, which version you are running, which type of access you want it. Based on that, you have to go with the remote access kind of stuff. So that is here. How to access VM, remote desktop protocol, RDP, MNCC, VNC, SPICE, remote access protocol like a SSH and Telnet. Okay, we can access the machines. Okay, so this is about your server virtualization. Okay, lot of virtual things are there in a server virtualization. So here it is again. It's a physical machine, and in a physical machine we install a hypervisor. Different type of hypervisors are there, like a Hyper-V, Xen server, Hyper-V, Xen server, VMware vSphere, Proximox. Any hypervisor you can install. Installing like a operating system only. How you install your operating system? Same ways we are installing hypervisor. Just take a fresh PC, you can install a hypervisor in it. So once you install a hypervisor, then you have to check the IP address if it is there. Small interface is there, not much interface. Basic interface for managing IP address, users, and connection kind of stuff. So you have to go to IP address, or application wise, or connection wise. So from your admin normal desktop, through desktop we can able to connect the machine, username, password, IP address, and we can able to create a virtual machine in the server, and we can give link to user. Okay, so this is server virtualization. And server virtualization also called as type 1 virtualization and bare metal virtualization. Why it is called a bare metal virtualization? We install hypervisor directly on the hardware. We are installing hypervisor directly on hardware, not through the operating system, not through application, not through an application, not through the operating system. That's why it is called a bare metal virtualization. In Microsoft hypervisor, so many other companies also there to support it.